Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win, you find a way to lose. And once you start losing, it's hard to get back on that winning streak. Now, you can take losses inside the ring, but you can take losses outside the ring, and that's exactly what's happening to Jaron Boots Ennis right now. He's taking losses outside the ring. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm still trying to understand this crap. Jaron Boots Ennis and Vergil Ortiz, right? It went public that they had agreed to fight each other. So we all, assumed that the fight was a done deal, being advertised for the February 22nd Riyadh season card. And we're all excited because we said, okay, here we go. This is the fight that's going to show us if Vergil Ortiz is really still that guy he was before the rhabdomyolysis when he was at 147, destroying people. At the same time, it's going to show us if Boots Ennis is really that guy who we believe has passed the eye test to the point to where he's going to do like many people predict and come out here and dominate. From 147 to 154, 160, I don't know about that. But the hang-up came because Team Ennis, and when I say Team Ennis, I'm going to talk about Jaron, Eddie Hearn, his dad, right? They decided to try to force the damn fight on Vergil Ortiz at 147. Now, I'm going to make sure I'm clear about this. I was going to play the audio, but I don't want to get I don't want to deal with no copyright bullshit. Eddie Hearn came out and said, when the fight was suggested to Jaron Boots Ennis and to Matchroom, the fight was suggested at 147. I just listened to an interview with Eddie Hearn's talking about this. He did the interview a day ago. Now, to that, I gotta say, in the most respectful way, to hold your horses and let's not take it to the stupid. I'm trying to really understand, because these guys lie. These guys lie more than a man is getting ready to go to prison. They'll come up with all kind of excuses and alibis and reasons on why things aren't going the way they said they would go. But when he said that, I thought that was rather odd. That the fight was proposed to Ennis at 147. So they were like, yes, this is the fight we want. However, he also said in the same breath that he was cognizant that Vergil Ortiz couldn't make 147. So again, it doesn't make sense to me. Then he said, for Jaron Boots Ennis, right, this is all in the same breath. Going up and fighting Vergil Ortiz at 154, he would like him to get, a few fights, 1 or 2 fights or something, to get himself together. To me, it sounded like a confidence builder. And then go to 154 and, try to make his mark in the division. However, all in the same breath, the man talking about Jaron Boots Ennis and trying to get him unification opportunities at 147. When I listened to all that, I said, Eddie Hearn out here just blowing smoke up people's cockle holes. What we look like, chimneys? Eddie Hearn had just come out here and just say anything. Because in that interview, he said all these things that were just contradicting each other and none of it made sense. He didn't say anything where I could sit there and follow it and say, okay, the fight's going this direction. Now, if I wasn't aware of Boots and Ortiz being off now, the way the interview went, it sounded like he still had plans on trying to make Boots and Ortiz, but he would have to figure out a way for Boots to lock in that huge opportunity taking place on February 22nd to be on the undercard for Riyadh season to face Ortiz and to not lose his 147-pound strap. So that sounded to me like that was the limiting factor. Okay, if we can't get beyond this limb fact, if we can't get beyond the limb fact of losing his belt at 147, well, now I got to figure some things out. Is it worth it? Now my thing is, boxing is prize fighting, right? Yeah, you want titles, you want the accolades, you want the legacy, right? But when you get an opportunity to go fight for $6 million plus, give up the goddamn belt at 147. That's my opinion. Go up there and snatch that payday and snatch that huge opportunity on a huge platform. I mean, the fight card that they're comprising, I've never seen a fight card like that. It's ridiculous, this fight card they're putting together. If that fight card comes off, I think Boots would have missed a huge opportunity. Now, for those of you who are sitting here, not just poking Eddie Hearn in one eye, but kind of three stooging him with the two fingers and boom in the eye and thing and the nose and all that, three stooges shit. You better do some of that to Jaron Boots and his father, Bozy Ennis. I just watched the interview with Bozy Ennis that was done a day ago. I think it was a day ago. You know what Bozy Ennis said? He said that they would ask him, how do you feel about people's opinions of you? And he was saying he doesn't really care what people say. Most people on the sidelines talking, they don't really know what the hell's going on with boxing. And I would be honest, I'm a guy on the sideline just like 99% of everyone else who decides to talk about boxing. We just watch videos, we listen to what people are saying, and with me, I kind of form my own opinions because me being a guy who's been retired for about 5.5 years and what I did for 25 years, I can see right through bullshit. I know when somebody is bullshitting, and I can almost anticipate with 95% accuracy what the next move is going to be. Okay, so I got the hood champion crystal ball here. But when Bozy comes out and says, I'm not worried about what people say about me, I've gotten some flack. Now, I'm paraphrasing now. I've gotten some flack because I could have been where I'm at right now as a trainer a lot sooner. But I didn't feel some of my guys were ready, and I wasn't just going to put them in a huge opportunity for huge money, and I didn't feel they were ready. So we took our time, and now we're here now. He's like, so I don't care about the money. The money doesn't matter to me. It's making sure his fighters are ready. Now, out of everything he said, that's the one thing that jumped out at me. Now I'm paraphrasing, but those are his exact words about don't care about the money, wants to make sure his fighters are ready. And when he said that, I said, oh, no. This could explain why when it comes to Jaron Boots Ennis, and as he referred to a lot of us as guys on the sidelines, just out here talking out the side of our necks, maybe that's why guys like us are looking and saying, why would you turn down a huge opportunity like this? All these people watching you, an opportunity to grow your profile, boost your platform times 100, and to make $6 million plus, right? Why would you turn down that opportunity? But when you listen to Bozy Ennis talk, it makes sense now why that opportunity got shot down. Between Eddie Hearn trying to make sure he doesn't misstep, because Eddie Hearn don't want Boots to lose to Vergil Ortiz. That's the last thing Eddie Hearn wants is for Vergil Ortiz and Oscar De La Hoya to come now and clip Boots, who's supposed to be the golden child. So the golden boy and Vergil Ortiz to clip Eddie Hearn's golden child, Jaron Boots Ennis. Eddie Hearn couldn't live with that shit. So I think Eddie Hearn is over there trying to figure out what to do. Then you got Boots' dad, like, forget the money. Maybe you're not ready. Why we just jump right up to 154? You need to get comfortable and get settled down. So when you put all that together, now that I have, I think, a better understanding of the situation, I'm not surprised that this fight's not happening. But Eddie Hearn did say it wasn't a done deal, but if they would have to figure out that big stumbling block and how to get beyond that impediment, which is Boots. They don't want Boots to lose his 147-pound IBF strap. Because, Eddie Hearn knows when you have a belt, you have bargaining power. You have strength. That gives you muscle. Without that belt, you're nobody. But I truly believe if Boots Ennis goes up to 154 and does the business, let's say he wanted to drop back down to 147. I just think there's just the talent at 147 is just not prominent. It's just not there. You know what I'm saying? Guys can fight, but it's just I don't see any exceptional talent. And what we thought, or the one fighter who we thought had exceptional talent, based on how he looked, especially against Roman Villa, he kind of, again, stock has kind of plummeted a little bit in value, and that's Jaron Ennis. So 147 to me is wide open. Blair the Flair Cobb, for all we know, could become undisputed at goddamn 147. At 147. And I'm not even trying to be funny. When you really think about it, hell, Blair the Flair Cobb could probably be one undisputed at 147 the way all these guys are looking. Nobody really looking spectacular. Shit, Conor Ben, as much as I don't want to give that dude no credit, he may come in there with the money machine behind him, and come in there because he can fight, and just may happen to pick up one or two titles. Like, you just don't know what's going to happen at 147. But that being said, Jaron Ennis just needs to fight Vergil Ortiz. Just fight him. Fight him. Forget that belt at 147. Fight him. We're talking about, money. And I understand people say, well, the money's going to come. Ain't no guarantee another opportunity for another $6 million payday is going to pop up, especially anytime soon. Especially if he fights Ortiz, and let's say he loses, right? Or let's say he wins. Then he goes into a next fight and he loses. He can have a Deontay Wilder type of streak, come out and have 2 back-to-back losses. I mean, you just don't know what the future holds. In boxing, the best fighter doesn't win the fight. It's the fighter who boxes the best on that night, or the boxer who fights the best on that night, right? That's how that shit goes. Kambosos and Teofimo. Look, Teofimo's a much better fighter than Kambosos, but the better fighter didn't win it that night. The boxer who fought the best and happened to be Kambosos. I don't want to hear about, Teofimo only had one lung, or he lost a testicle, or Teofimo. I don't want to hear that bullshit. We're just talking about what happened in the ring. The guy who shouldn't have won. It happens in boxing. And with Jaron Ennis out here messing around, turning down a huge opportunity to hang at 147 to fight for probably less money, he could lose. Just the same argument we were having about Brian Norman Jr. and his team turning down the big money to fight Jaron Ennis. And I say big money, it was much more than they've ever made. It's the same argument. Like, why you could go lose against a nobody and struggle to get back to position to make a $1.8 million payday or whatever it was. Forget what he was going to pocket. It's the fact that there was a huge opportunity. And Boots is doing the same thing. So, to me, he should just fight him. Fight him. F it. Go for the gusto. Don't turn it down. I don't care what happens. F that belt. Go for it. Same thing I was saying about Brian Norman Jr. Man, F that belt. You fight Boots. If you lose, but you make your money. Then you come back and go again. Brian Norman Jr. is good enough to where he can come back and get another opportunity and find himself with a title before he knows it. So anyway, y'all keep cool. Jaron just needs to fight Vergil Ortiz. This is making him look crazy. And Eddie Hearn has a whole lot to do with it. His dad has a whole lot to do with it. But I do think Eddie Hearn is trying to pressure Boots to go against what Boots deep down wants to do, which is become undisputed at 147. I think Eddie Hearn may realize that Boots doesn't have much legs on him. What I mean by legs is the years for him to continue being undefeated and dominating. I think Eddie Hearn knows as Boots steps up in competition, if a guy like Evanesian can touch him up, if Chikadzian can touch him up, once he starts stepping up in competition and facing guys who are quote-unquote recognized as elite fighters like Jaron Ennis is quote-unquote recognized as elite, I think Eddie Hearn knows, shit, this man may lose. So he doesn't have the legs that I thought he had to get another 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years out of him. I may only have 1 or 2 fights, and then I got to drop him. And that's just how Eddie Hearn, I think his mind is working on this. Hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. We're just having a conversation. I'm not telling you that I'm speaking facts. I'm just talking. But I wish Jaron Ennis the best. Just like Vergil Ortiz. I wish that dude the best. But I wonder if there's any truth to Eddie Hearn saying the fight was proposed from Vergil Ortiz in his camp, right, to Eddie Hearn at 147. Now, if it was, When was that shit proposed and offered to him? 5 years ago? 4 years ago? You know what I'm saying? Because Eddie Hearn may be telling the truth, but he's not. He's leaving out critical information. The conversation about that was something from 4 years ago. So here it is now, 4 years later. They're both in position that they can fight each other, and Eddie Hearn is like, "Oh, well, he said that, but he won't tell us that it was 4 years ago when that shit came up." That's how some of these guys work. They're not lying, but they're misleading you. Anyway, y'all keep cool. No matter what, I think Jaron Ennis is making a huge mistake if he doesn't fight him. Just do it. Just fight him. Fight him, Boots. Fight Ortiz. Get it over with. Don't do this to yourself. He's starting to look like he's putting duck sauce on the fried rice. And Vergil Ortiz, he doesn't look like he's putting duck sauce on the carne asada. He look like he want all the smoke. But Team Ennis is out here trying to navigate their way through boxing politics to almost have their cake and eat it too. And sometimes it doesn't work that way. I should save that for a whole nother video. Want to have their cake, okay. Want to hold on to our belt and eat it too. You want to go fight at 154. The way if you lose, you come back to your belt. That's what they're trying to do. Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor type deal. I'll go up and fight you. If I win, I take your shit. But if I lose, I come back and I have mine. So it's almost like a win-win. And the money, you get paid good money. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. There's so much pressure coming from the boxing world right now on Jaron Ennis. I wouldn't be surprised if something happens where the secret society and the key decision makers behind the scenes say he can keep his belt, go up for this one-off opportunity and fight Vergil Ortiz. I wouldn't be surprised if that gets announced in the next week or two. But if not, it is what it is. Because I'm sure there are already other names are being announced to fight Vergil Ortiz. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.